through the prison system with young boys was massive, through the roof, and it just got brushed under the carpet. There was young lads killing themselves and everything because they were in constant abuse of the Stevie G thing.
Yeah, so I've heard that he's been surrounded by, well, it's the rumour on the street, I don't know if it's true, being surrounded by like a whole criminal family throughout his life, and I don't think that's well known.
I need the most, more than anything, me eyes, me ears, and me mouth.
I mean,
you know what?
Is
like my ma, wow, I've seen my mum get naughty hidings, and I mean where she can't get off the floor. Do you understand what I'm saying? Locate a witness, and I needed to intimidate a witness. And just go ahi. So,
hello everyone, welcome back to the Easily Distracted podcast, and we're here with episode 2 with Darren G. Thank you, Darren, for coming.
Pleasure, mate.
So for viewers that may not know who you are or where you're from, what you do, what your past is, could you just give us a little introduction of?
Well, I'm just obviously I'm a Scouser, and I'm from Liverpool.
Yeah.
I've got a very checkered past, and my present is I'm just trying to encourage the youth not to go down the same path as me.
So you think you made mistakes in your?
Definitely made mistakes. Yeah.
So
made
is
the
that
wrong choices.
Do you reckon that was down to upbringing, or what? Could you explain a bit of the pathway of your youth?
Well, I'm one of 5 brothers.
Right. Okay.
Come from a rough estate in the city of Liverpool. Alcoholic dad.
Yeah.
Beatings off. If you've had an alcoholic dad, you know what it's like to have an alcoholic. Don't need to explain. So the madness that's happening at home impacts on your school. So when you're going through violence and stuff in your family home as a kid, you take it out in school. So when you're taking it out in school, then you get expelled from school. So I was expelled at 12.
12, yeah.
And that left me on the estate with the older lads.
Did you not go back into
So you didn't
education?
go back into school after?
No, what they done, they suspended me for a year.
What'd you do for a year?
From a fire extinguisher at a teacher.
Man.
Really, yeah.
Wow, fair.
Did it hit it or him?
It was him.
Yeah.
So they suspended me for a year. And then when the year was up, expelled me. But the damage was already done.
That can't be good for a kid, though. You
meant
suspend them for a year, so they have no education for a year, pretty much. Will you get homework?
They give me a home tutor. So
Right.
a woman had come for an hour once a week.
Once a week.
Just goes to show how like fucked the system is, like schooling wise. But you said like you were spreading a message. You've got a very, very, very big message on your T-shirt.
Yeah,
choose
a life, not a knife.
So
Calnack UK. Basically.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, it came to me through suicidal tendencies, so that's where it first landed on my lap.
Right.
I was thinking about harming myself.
Yeah.
Popped up, took interest in it, and then carried it since. Now I've carried it for 10 years. And basically what it's gone from personal message to a youth message.
Yeah.
Stay away from gangs.
A bigger picture of it, yeah.
We
Stay
need
away
that
from drug
message.
dealers.
Nowadays there's a massive thing with UK rappers putting this message to the youth of all ages. You can access music at all ages. Putting this message of, I stabbed him last night, I did all this, like crazy things they're talking about, and it's almost making it acceptable. So like, you're trying to combat against that, I guess.
I scream out because half of these drillers, they've never lived a life at all. They're just boasting about
I know you've
their
mentioned
life.
Mazza.
Well, Mazza's just a young Scouser. I don't know why his name's coming into my... His name's getting mentioned all the time in my platforms. I think it's where kids are trying to clickbait for him. But it's good in a sense that they're finding avenues to turn away from crime, and they're using music to come away from crime. Yeah. But although they're using that music to come away from crime, that same music is influencing youth to commit crime.
I think it's a lot more on the other hand than it is an individual coming away. You're making the influence on thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and then one person's coming away.
Don't you think that, obviously, as you said, they're trying to get out of crime, but then again, does that life ever leave you? Because obviously, if Mazza says and all the things he says are true, right?
They're not.
Then let's say in by off chance they were true, right? will that life ever leave him? Because he's must have crossed someone. He must have he must have done something that, you know, now he's big and he's been seen in the light, and someone's like, I want to get after you. Now you've got peas. Now I can get stuff.
Right,
off
but
you.
there's a difference between being relevant and being big. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're only relevant for a short duration of time.
Yeah.
And that's what Mazza is at the moment. He's just relevant at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
What it does with him, it's not just Mazza. You've got other kids who are going into jail, getting viral off the lyrics. But the perception that gives the youth, I've heard conversations where you've got youth going, I want to go to jail so I can get my music out there. So that's what it's doing now. It's influencing. It's telling the kids, if you go to jail, you can go viral like A, B, C, and D.
It's not guaranteed though, is it? Like, these guys are just putting it all on the line. Yeah. Wow.
And I mean, if you have nothing else to fight for or live for, I guess that is what they will resort to. And you know what? They've been put in that position through many circumstances that they might not be able to help. So that is their thought process. But it's just trying to offer up a different thing that is better than that for them, but it's hard to do, obviously.
Do you think, so obviously it's all about the environment you're in. Do you reckon this is the fault of the system, or is this the fault of like mentality of the people around you? Because again, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if I'm just like a normal geezer and I surround myself with 5 gangbangers, I'm obviously going to end up becoming a gangbanger in some sort of way. But do you reckon is like who has the most blame in this?
Parents.
Like, you reckon the parents? Yeah.
Because it all stems from that, I guess.
It all stems from your front door.
Yeah. So
the minute you pass over your front doorstep, if your parents haven't educated you properly or raised you properly, you're just going to run a rail. You're going to go mad out there.
Yeah.
So talking about that, so you said obviously your life of crime, let's say, right, started from very young. So you obviously got expelled from school, and then where did it go from there?
So basically, domestic violence from both parents made me fuck up school, expelled from school, on the streets with the 18-year-olds. I'm 13. They're the only people that are around. Everyone in my age category are still going to school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're going to school in the morning, I'm still coming out the house the same time in the morning, but not going nowhere, just standing on the estate with these 18, 19-year-old lads. And then just started.
Is that like, would you class that as grooming nowadays? As like,
that's what it is these days.
They're getting you into it.
When we was doing it, it weren't classed as grooming.
Yeah.
So what happened to me, I was influenced by people that were 5, 6 years older than me to participate in certain crimes. And that's how I ended up in it.
And would they get you to be the one who really does the crime while they lead it?
You're the one taking the risk. You're the risk taker.
Yeah. How much does peer pressure have to do with that? Do you reckon it's like a 99% factor? Yeah.
Because you want to fit in, and if you don't do certain things, you're classed outside. You're like an outclass.
It's your environment, though. At the end of the day, like it is like.
It's all your environment.
Yeah.
It's your environment. Your environment. You can be as good as you like, come from a posh household, have decent parents, and then you move to study and start mixing with the local pot dealers.
Yeah.
A year down the line, your ma and that don't give a fuck to you no more. You know, you've picked this identity up now.
And that's just in a year as well. It can happen.
That's what I'm saying. You pick the identity up of the group.
Yeah.
So you'll start dressing like the group. You'll start listening to the music like the group. If they're drinking in that club, you'll go that club with the group.
Yeah.
So you're picking up a new identity.
So your crime started with petty crimes, would you say?
Yeah,
what were some of the examples of
robbing cars?
Robbing cars. So would you actually just rob the things in the car, or actually take the cars as well?
No, we're just where I live by Liverpool's football grounds. Every time there's a home game, thousands of cars would come and park up outside the ground.
I was speaking to my granddad about this the other day because he's a Liverpool fan, so am I. So he'd park up back in the day, and the local Scousers would go to him. Do you want us to mind your car? Yeah, and they'd go, oh, it would look nice on fire as well, wouldn't it? So you basically have to let them mind it, pay them to mind it.
We used to mind cars.
Yeah.
And then we were minding cars, and then the older lot, the cars we were minding, they were just coming round, shattering windows and taking all the stuff out the boots of the cars that we were minding. So when the fellas were coming back, We just have to hide.
Yeah.
No, because the cars are being robbed.
Yeah.
But then we clicked on then. Well, hang on, what the fuck are they getting out of these cars? So we started doing what they were doing.
Yeah, and what were some of the things you would get for, what would it be? Because back
golf
in the day,
clubs,
it wasn't fun.
ping golf clubs, Blaupunkt CDs, face-offs.
Anything you can get your hands
just
on, really.
Anything that was in the car, that was
anything with any value.
Everything was valuable back then, though, when I was like 25 years ago. Anything you stole from a car was valuable.
So this was 25 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. So you've been to prison, right? So can you tell us about the story that has got you there?
I've been going to prison since I was 14. Loads of different offences.
So you've been to juvie?
Yeah, I've been to all the juvies.
So what do you think juvie's like in the UK? Like, is it good for reform, or did it just fuck you up even more?
Yeah, it makes you worse.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
no prison institution in this country rehabilitates anyone. Not one.
Do you think there's a need for like a major reform, and will it ever happen? Do you reckon?
No, it'll cost them too much.
I mean, you're surrounding more criminals around other criminals that are going to mix and make more connections and make bigger things happen, and it's just like a ongoing process that isn't going to help.
Years ago, they used to have the prison system in age categories, so you'd have 18 under, 18 to 21, then 21 plus, and that was the 3 categories in prison. So 14 to 18, that was YPs. Then you'd have young prisoners. Then you'd have 18 to 21, which was young offenders. And then you'd have 21 up. They're called cons. In other words, convicted offenders. And that's what it is. But what they done years ago, they took the 18 out.
And just made that all...
So now in this country, on the wings, you've got a man that's 55 years old that's done 25 years off a murder, and a kid that's 16 on the same wing, sitting at the same table.
That is silly.
Getting embroiled in the same conversations.
And if that 16-year-old gets out in 3 years,
he's just educated.
He's getting straight into more.
So in a normal environment, you'll go to school, you get educated, and you find your way in life.
Yeah.
In an abnormal environment, you'll go to prison, educate yourself, come out, and you're a criminal.
Wow, that is actually
the same thing. Same like education. One's education in a school, one's education in a prison.
It's a school for criminals, almost, isn't it?
Exactly that. It's exactly the same. And when you go into prison, if you walk down a corridor in a prison, it's like walking down a corridor in a school. If you go in and have a games day in school, and you've got your table tennis and your football and your pool, they're all prison games.
Yeah. Would they use things like the games? Obviously, there's a lot of violence in prison. Is there like, if you've got a pool table, you've got pool balls. Are people using that?
People
use anything, I guess.
I've been whacked with pool balls.
I was going to say, you put in a game like that where you've got a queue and balls and stuff.
No, but what they do years ago when I first started going to jail, they never took the lead.
Right. Okay.
In pool queues, you've got lead.
Yeah.
So when people were getting whacked with them in the YPs, they were doing serious damage. So what they done, just took the lead out.
So it wasn't.
So when people were getting whacked, it would just shatter instead of impacting hard.
What's your worst jail story? Like, what was the worst possible thing you ever saw, like in prison?
There's loads, mate. There's
Is there one that stands out?
One that stands out is hot oil.
Hot oil. Oh.
Did you get that on you?
No, I wouldn't be sat here like this, mate.
Yeah, true. Well, maybe I don't know. It was on your chest or something.
Permanent damage.
Yeah, that is. Wow.
So where I seen this in some jails, you're allowed to cook. You'll have big kitchens in the top of the wing, and you're allowed to cook your own scran. And you get these things called Dutch pots. It's like an aluminium pot that you can cook anything in. Jamaican they are or something. Dutch pots they call them. So you can cook anything in them. And all the yardies, like in a prison, you'll have a group of yardies, you'll have a group of Muslims, you'll have a group of Scousers, you'll have a group of fucking, all different types of...
Segregated, you're just segregated.
It's like mini gangs inside jail.
That's what it is. It's exactly the same as outside, but confined in prison. So what these Jamaican kids normally do is dumplings, fried dumplings. So they'll have a big pot of oil, they'll get it till it's roasting, then put the dumplings in and fry them up, put sugar on them, and they're dead nice. But there's been an argument going on for a few days, simmering in this Swale side. It's simmering between these two people. When one of the kids has got his back turned, someone's went over to him with this Dutch pot and just went.
dead.
And what was
Surely
his
he died.
reaction?
He would have died.
He's
no?
gone into anaphylactic shock. You go into shock. You know what anaphylactic shock it's called.
Yeah.
But your natural reaction is when you get something hot on your face. Your natural reaction is to go. Ah.
Yeah, that's even worse, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So the minute he's done that, the skin on his hands is stuck to the skin on his face, and when he's pulled away, skin's ripped off.
Oh no!
Did he
not die?
Yeah, you see, no, you don't die.
He didn't. Wow.
You could have died, but he never.
You're better off dying realistically in that point.
Well, I wouldn't like to look like that, mate.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a coloured lad and now you're half white.
Yeah. Oh.
It's not. Yeah. It's not
That is wow. That
but
is
even
crazy.
just that pain in that moment.
Right.
I mean, and then you've
Just
got to go.
scream.
You've got
Just
to go
scream.
sit back into a jail cell after you've gone through all that as well. It's not like you've had this horrible
he was
traumatizing
whisked off
thing.
him, lad.
Oh,
He
was he?
straight
Yeah.
off, yeah.
Oh,
Straight
was
to
he?
hospital.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. I was
You
gonna
don't
say
hesitate
yeah.
with that shit, mate.
But then coming back, I presume he's just back.
Oh, he's just back in the normal
yeah.
location. They'll put him on a different wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, to stop the
Same thing
animosity
happening
fucking
again,
spoiling
yeah,
over
yeah.
again. But
then that won't stop because
it doesn't stop. You've just got
someone
contacts,
else,
you've got friends, and that's what jail's like. Though.
Yeah.
It's like out here.
So one of your people that I've heard you talk about in jail that you were with was Purple Aki.
Purple Aki, I haven't been in jail.
Oh, well, you're not in jail with him, no. But do you know him? Oh, I thought you were. Do you know of him then?
Yeah, I've known him all my life.
Yeah.
Purple Aki, Akan Arabiki.
He's a massive name in the Liverpool sort of.
He's a massive wrong name in Liverpool.
Yeah. So, what's your opinions on him if you've known him your whole life?
He's just what's happening with me now is when I'm calling people what they are, they're going to the police. So
Oh,
now
really?
I've got a malicious prosecution on me for calling someone a rapist.
No way.
But he is. I swear he is.
In 2022.
That's
So I've called someone a rapist on a podcast in 2022, and the police have been harassing me for 2 years on the same offence. So it's very. But basically, what he is, he's a danger to kids.
Yeah, but from the older, I've heard some crazy stories about this. This guy goes around touching people's muscles and stuff without asking them.
He's always done that. He's got a fetish for men's muscles.
If that doesn't class you as a rapist doing it to someone without their consent, then what are you?
You can't really call them the R word because there's no conviction there.
It's more of a sexual assault or something
that's
like
what it
that.
is. You know,
it's not
it's not as straightforward as that.
No,
because he doesn't just turn up on you and go, "Oh, let's feel your muscles."
Yeah.
If he wants you, he'll stalk you.
Yeah,
and
that's
even worse.
This is what I'm saying. This is why he's a predator. He'll stalk you. He'll follow you. He'll follow you out your gym. He'll follow you to your house. He'll follow you everywhere. And then once he knows everything about you, then he'll start stepping to you.
Yeah.
And this guy's still.
And then you're like, shit.
I think those.
And then he'll say like, oh, you live here, don't you? And that makes you go even more shit.
Yeah.
Oh, how big are your biceps? You're already shook to fuck, so you're just letting him because you're like.
Yeah, because you think this guy's that.
But that's what stalking does to you.
Wasn't there a complete manipulator?
Yeah. He's a predator.
There was a story of him turning up in someone's mum's house or something when they didn't know he was there. He's gone home to his mum and he's just sat in his front room. And he's just
that used to happen to me, mate.
Really, yeah.
So
what with Purple Aki?
Yeah.
No way.
He was sat in your living room.
In my mum's house.
No way.
Nah.
I think it's happened to a few people.
See, I met him through an old girlfriend's dad, and the girlfriend's dad was a gangster from Liverpool, and he had this Akan Arabiki round because he's a legal eagle. So if I needed to locate a witness and I needed to intimidate a witness, I'd just go Aki.
Yeah.
So the reason he's not dead, the reason he hasn't been put to bed in Liverpool is because he's too useful to the crime, the criminals.
Okay, that makes sense now.
The only reason he hasn't been dealt with is because he does too much research. If a criminal in Liverpool needs to locate someone,
I wonder how he gets all this information on a singular person, just follows them and stuff.
It's easy, mate. It goes through the voters' roll, all everything that's documented. If you're a legit member of the public, I can just go on a computer and find you.
Yeah. How?
Yeah, true.
How?
When you vote, that's one way.
Okay, yeah.
When you vote in your address, you're on the voters' register.
It's crazy.
Really? Is that accessible online?
Bro,
yeah. I've never voted, obviously.
Your information's out everywhere. You can find someone's information like that. It's crazy.
But back in the day, I'm talking 25 years ago. So Akan now he's about 65, Aki. So back then he was like 45.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And the real reason he's known is because, as I say, he stalks people. stalks them, terrifies the fucking life out of them.
Yeah.
And he's been stalking this one kid for months. And he's been getting closer to the kid as the weeks have been going by. And one day, this kid shit himself and ran from him. And he's chased him. And the kid's gone across a railway line. And the train's hit him.
No. Fuck.
What?
Now, Wacky was arrested for murder, but wasn't convicted. And then wasn't convicted of manslaughter. And then was convicted of nothing.
How did that come about? How the hell did
Merseyside
so not even stalking.
Merseyside, look, he's had Merseyside police in his pocket.
Yeah.
For
Corruption.
years.
Yeah. So it's all under wraps. It's all under
crazy.
wraps, really, isn't it? If you've got them high level people that he's working with, one contact in the.
That's it, yeah.
That's crazy. Cause
And with him being that way inclined, you know, he's probably done a load of favours for people that project themselves and not being that way inclined. You know, like give oral to a gangster in Liverpool, and the gangster's got a wife.
Actually, about that, you said there's a massive. I remember seeing one of your.
There is, mate.
There's a
massive homosexual community within the fraternity of criminals in Liverpool, and you've got men that have got kids and birds and married, but they're sucking the length on the sly. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So what is it? Is it just for enjoyment, or is it just like to get one up on your op? Like what is it like?
It's just the way they are. It's just that. Fucked
so even within your own group and stuff. Are they doing it within their own group?
No,
like are
surely
they
not.
Like are they doing it just to like ops, or are they like?
No, it's a good thing that they're doing it.
Okay, wow.
A messy thing.
Mad.
You understand?
Okay.
It's not a good thing, but to them, it's like a sociable thing that they all get up to.
Okay. So they kind of hide behind a mask of like being tough. And
I'm
being
a man
gangster.
with a wife and kids.
Yeah.
Is it almost?
But round the corner, they get treated like a little fucking fanboy.
Oh, mad. Okay.
I think one of the names mentioned in that is Sam Walker.
Oh, he's just a fucking helmet.
Yeah. Is he involved in that? I swear there was a name.
He was years ago. He was doing all madness, mate, like getting young girls and boys to certain flats where sex parties were going on.
Right. Okay.
And these young boys and girls were getting GBL put in the drinks.
What's GBL?
It's like a thing that sedates you. It fucks you up.
Oh, like roofies, kind of like roofies. Yeah. Oh, what?
You know the thing that the people use for date rape.
Are you actually taking the piss? No. So he was going like young boys and girls.
That's what he does.
Man, he's out in Africa
He's now,
right now, isn't he?
Sierra Leone, trying to, I guess, make his image look good.
Look, he goes there every 3 years or something, mate. Comes home with about 4 diamonds.
Yeah. I mean,
blood diamonds at that as well.
Yeah, I've seen he's been posting all that he's killed a few people out there because of there's a rule where if someone trespasses
Allegedly.
Well, yeah, in
just
Sierra Leone.
You know what? All I can say about him is just let him get on with it.
Yeah.
He's a waste of fucking space, mate.
But a lot of people think he's doing God's work out there.
He's not doing God's work, mate. He's just a deceitful, unhonest little shit, mate. So that's all I can say about him.
Yeah. Well, that story of getting little kids into sex parties.
Not little kids.
Well,
they're like 19-year-old boys, 20-year-old boys. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Majority of them are young gay boys.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that links in. Yeah. So
and they take them to these sex parties, and then they get GBL'd, and then you'll have 3 or 4 people going through them, and then they come round and realise something's wrong.
Yeah, but that completely.
And then they probably can't report it.
They can't because it's all videoed.
Oh, that as well. But yeah, I thought it was going to be because
when you hear of these sex parties that's going off in America and all this mad shit, don't for 1 minute think that they don't happen here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure
they've been happening in the city of Liverpool before I went to prison in 2004.
I think they've been happening in
right across the country
as well. Somewhere else as well. Well, obviously, we're not gonna touch on that because that gets a bit too sticky. But they've been happening. You know, they've been happening in general in the elites. Obviously, I think there's a. I want to know your point of view about this. What is it? Because obviously you've heard about all the paedophile rings with the elites. What is it about? Why is it? Do you think that's a power trip thing? Like you automatically become like this massive leader, like at Epstein's Island, right? You saw Bill Clinton went on there, who allegedly did not do anything. Prince Andrew and blah blah blah. What is it about like becoming this massive person with power and wanting to have sex with children or underage people?
I don't think they get power then want that. I think they're already doing that. Then get power because they're doing that. you know, they've probably climbed the ranks because they're doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're probably right.
yeah. Understand what I mean?
So some like initiation.
They became
type,
powerful because you're doing that
You've
with
got
all
a
them.
connection.
So who was the
that,
first wronging to be like, you got to do this to go climb your way up the ladder? Do you reckon it was? Who do you reckon it was?
Well, I know Epstein obviously started off as no one, and he suddenly became rich. A lot of
Yeah.
people think he worked in the CIA actually.
No, Mossad.
Yeah.
Israelis secrets.
Yeah.
But you know why he got away for it for so long? It's because he had cameras in every room in his house, so he caught every single person that came to his house to do that dirty shit. He caught them doing it. And he was like, "Well, if you're gonna look, I've got this of you." So
But that's the whole point he was set up,
Blackmail.
though, wasn't he?
Blackmail. It was just
That's
all
the whole
blackmail.
point of him setting it all up, was to blackmail the
And
politicians
gain
and
money and power.
Ghislaine
I
Maxwell's
guess,
in prison now, isn't she?
I think so.
Was that his bird?
Yeah, his bird. Yeah,
and that
his
was the
bird.
link to Prince Andrew
Yeah.
with it all.
You can just look. There's been paedophilia going on in this country since before we were even fucking born.
Well,
mate.
we see it in schools all the time.
Before we were born, you know, the care systems, the YP prisons. When back in the day, when in the 80s, the abuse through the prison system with young boys was massive, through the roof, and it just got brushed under the carpet. There was young lads killing themselves and everything because they were on constant abuse from certain staff.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And it still happens now.
You've got a duty of care though as a prison staff to
Prison's
look
not
after.
like that no more, mate.
Is it not?
No, the prison staff can't care for you, even if they want to.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
they
there
have to
just too
detach
many?
themselves
They
from.
can't have that. They can't go across that professional line. So even if they want to try and be human with you, they can't.
Yeah,
They just
They're
can't.
not allowed to.
They're not allowed to. They've just got to let you suffer.
Crazy. I know someone who was a prison officer, and he said, well, the things they just tell you, like the guidelines that you have are just crazy. You just think about like, I'm going into this job to potentially help someone, as well as obviously keep the peace. I'm also trying to help someone. Like you kind of have to have some sort of like background, like psychological sort of like help in order to be able to do that. So the fact is that now with all these new things, you're not really allowed to kind of, because as a prison officer, you're the only link they've got to the outside.
You can't do nothing.
Yeah, and
So you probably got inmates crying to you. Can you ring me mum?
Exactly.
And you can't.
You can't do it. Like, will you be talking about, I don't know, the fucking Liverpool score? Will you be talking about like the Premier League? Will you be talking about like what are you going to be talking about with them? Except for like, I'm your CO, which is what they call in America, and I'm not allowed to speak.
That's what they
to
call
you
them
in
here,
any
custody officers.
Oh,
That's what a
custody,
CO
okay, yeah,
means,
fair,
custody officer.
Yeah, in America I think it's corrections officer.
Oh, it might be,
like
it might be.
yeah,
But in
yeah.
in this country, it's you got a PCO, prison custody officer.
Got any CO stories that some dodgy COs?
Loads.
They're all there's so
They're not
many,
all
aren't
corrupt.
they?
They're not all bents. You know, there is some cunts, there is some bents, but there is some officers that are doing the job correct.
Well,
You know, the way you're meant to.
thank fuck. Thank fuck.
No, but there is.
Yeah.
But what happens with these officers is because you get decent officers that are doing the job right and they want to do the job right. But what happens is they'll have one inmate. He'll ask them to do something, and he'll run round and do everything for them. And then these same inmates will ask him again, and then again, and then again, and then again, and then another inmate will ask him. And then if he's on a wing of 60, he's probably got 15 requests off 15 different inmates, and he's rushed off his fucking feet, and he's been doing it for months and months and months, and then you'll get one ungrateful cunt. What, you haven't done it yet? I've been waiting all day. And that just hardens the officer.
Yeah.
So for months he's been helping every prisoner out. This one's given him shit, and now he's just going, you know what, fuck this. I can't keep on doing this.
Yeah.
It's a
But
hard
there's only
job,
so much.
realistically,
Yeah.
innit?
It's only so much you can take.
I mean,
isn't
they're
it?
not
So
getting
much
paid
you
a
can
lot
take.
either. I mean, they probably should be getting paid a lot more than some people who just sit there on a laptop all day and do whatever that. But these guys have the hardest face-to-face job probably possible.
Yeah. And the thing is,
Do you
there's
not
only
think doctors and stuff like that? Of
You know
course,
what? It's not hard.
but Is it not? No.
you reckon?
A prison officer's
But they not
job's
deal
not
with a
hard.
load of shit. No.
Well, you get abuse, or that's what you get, like shit and piss thrown at you.
No, if
constantly.
you're an officer that's not treating inmates like shit,
Yeah,
you
then
will
you'll
be
be alright.
you
You'll
will
be
be
respected,
respected
yeah.
and spoken to kindly, and you know all the real stuff that you're meant to do with a human. That happens in prison.
Yeah.
But you've got screws in prison that do take backhanders. So it's in the private prisons more than anything. So if I'm involved in a gang dispute, so if I'm in Loudon Grange, the gang I'm having trouble with outside, they've got screws in Loudon Grange that can make my prison difficult.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes your life a lot harder than what it would be.
Yeah, like just searching your pad, putting blades in your pad, you know, just mad shit like that to stitch you up for the other firm.
When they get like, let's say they have put a blade in your pad, and that gets caught because obviously they've set that up. Does your time get extended or what? Yeah. So how much would you be looking at extension wise?
Well, years ago, if you got nicked, the governor of the prison would deal with it.
Right, he'd make the final.
So if I got nicked with a weapon, he'd give me 28 days on top of my sentence.
Okay.
But someone challenged it in the European Court of Law and said, and they ruled that the governor is unlawful by adding extra days to everyone's prison. He shouldn't have been able to do it. So what they've done to get round it, they started bringing magistrates from outside into the prison to sit on the adjudication like a magistrate outside. So now, if I get nicked with a blade in prison,
it's like a court date.
It's like outside court date, and it's the same sentence.
Okay.
Oh,
so when it was just a governor, he had the maximum he could give you was 28 days loss. Now with the magistrates, they can give you 6 months added to your sentence.
So whoever's appealed that in Europe has kind of
fucked
done everyone over.
So you're risking a lot by having a blade.
But what if it's not you?
Like in general, you're risking a lot by having a blade. Full stop. Yeah. But like you're risking a lot by having it in prison as well, because that's another 6 months.
Yeah, but not having one in prison, risking your safety.
Yeah, exactly.
True. But what would you say to? So let's say I'm a CEO, right? I go into prison, and I'm dealing with all these people. Yeah, maybe someone's been done for fraud. I can deal with that. Fraud, everyone commits some kind of fraud in their lifetimes. Whatever. Yeah, it's made people bankrupt, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna die, right? Whereas, like, would you think about, like, I've got a child predator in front of me. I personally don't think I would be able to treat him the same as the fraudster. I'd personally think I'd be very hard on the child predator as well. Would you not? Like what
as an officer?
As an officer, you
like, and also as a convict, I guess.
As a convict is kill on sight, isn't it? Isn't it?
Well,
in America it is apparently.
What you get in prison, mate, is you'll get nonces that are not cheeky.
Okay.
Nonces that are not audacious.
Okay.
So they'll just like head down, jail, don't want to come on top. But then you'll get nonces that are in your fucking face, mate.
Okay.
And they're round and rolling around a wing like they're big and strong. But no one knows his conviction, except for that officer.
So you get in with that officer, you find out
that officer comes to you because this cunt's being giving him shit.
Yeah.
He just comes to the boys and go, my man's naughty. That's it. That's all he needs to say. And then he's dealt with.
I thought the nonces were put on a different wing to protect them. Is that optional?
They're offered.
Yeah, I was going to say it's optional, yeah.
So you've got to have some bollocks to go into a normal wing.
This is what I'm saying. In prison.
And actually go and...
Listen, in prison, you've got audacious nonsense. That's what I'm saying. And they'll refuse to go on protection and say, I want to be on normal location. And while they're on normal location, no one knows the offence. No one knows the offence, but he's big and he's mixing with the boys, so he must be okay.
Yeah.
But then it comes out
until you cross someone.
And when it comes out, well, then he gets dealt with bad. Why? Because he sat round a table with all the boys.
Yeah.
While he's being like this.
He's basically frauded them. He's became someone else, pretending to be someone else, and then and
there's loads in there. There's loads of
pretenders,
scary nonsense.
But that is the type of quality, is the type of characteristics you usually get from a nonce. Someone who's like, has all this like just built up confidence because he likes to power trip on little kids. Like,
you think that?
So
you think that, mate, but they come in all shapes and sizes, mate.
But you said about the one that's a gun.
The audacious ones.
Yeah, that's you hear about that quite a lot. About the guy who, like, gets too big for his boots when you're a nonce, right? Yeah. And you're in prison. You're in the most dangerous place to be if you're a nonce, right? So
you're
realistically,
right. Exactly that though. There's a lot of people that are on the landings, and what they'll do, they'll convert or revert to Islam, so they don't get damaged off their index offence.
Okay.
So you'll have a lot, not all, but you'll have quite a lot of people with sex offenders reverting to Islam, because the minute they revert to Islam, in Islam, they clean the slate for you.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So no matter what you've done or to who or how you've done it, the minute you've reverted, you've got a clean slate in Islam.
Okay.
So a lot of people that are in danger in prison revert for the protection of the brotherhood in prison.
How long do you think you could keep that going for, though? Because it's not an act. A religion isn't an act, surely. Like,
it's not an act.
You've got to really dedicate your life to that.
I said this the other way on that Kicking Up Dust podcast last week. I said exactly the same thing. As soon as they get out of jail, they're doing all the haram shit.
Yeah.
You know, they're turning back, they're drinking, they're taking drugs, they're battered, all
so
the mad shit.
So they're just doing it as a front.
Yeah, just when they go in prison.
And it's worth it to do it in prison, so you have that.
And what happens is, if you revert, you can't leave.
So you've got.
So if you revert and then think you can leave, you've basically got a fatwa on your head, which is a price. It's an Islamic price, a fatwa.
I just want to say, like, I personally find that real. Like, I'm not going to say disgusting, but at the end of the day,
disrespectful.
At the end of the day, it's very, like, religion, especially these days as well, is a very delicate thing. And playing around with it and just being like, oh, I'm going to become Muslim just so I can wipe my slate of me being a nonce and not having to, like, actually, you know, take responsibility for my actions, because you have to. Like, I can't, like, I think the worst crime impossible is being, for anyone that doesn't know, obviously any listeners, because we've got a few listeners from abroad, a nonce is a paedophile. So I feel like that's the worst possible crime you could commit, personally.
It is in my books.
Same.
Like, against a
anyone that harms
person,
children, women and pensioners, they're all in the same category.
And animals, I think. For me, animals as well, I'd say. I think, like, obviously, if you're a bit... No, listen, bro, I actually can't watch... If I saw a person beating their dog, I would go up to them and be like, what is wrong with you?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
bro,
I couldn't watch that myself. Do
you have any pets?
I've had a few dogs, but I haven't been able to look after them. No, because the housing them in.
Yeah, fair.
So I've bought dogs with the intention of having a boss dog and then...
Do you get a bully?
Give it away. No.
What would you like? Rottweiler?
I had a pit bull.
Oh.
You can't go wrong with a pit bull. A red nose one.
Did you have the GTA like chain? The chain on the...
Oh no, I'm not into all that, man.
No. But the XL bullies have now been banned in the UK.
Even now, though, our dogs, they're like weapons these days, mate.
Yeah, people don't use them for the right
reasons. People feel
reasons.
Insecure without them. And when you see your drug dealers and your gangbangers and you've got these big dogs next to them,
bullies, you
take that dog away from them, they won't come out the front door.
Yeah.
It's like a knife for them.
Yeah, status symbol.
Would you say that's a knife? Would you say that's smart to do for a drug dealer? Because obviously it's the dog committing the act. It's not them pulling out a knife and stabbing someone. The dog's gonna bite them.
Bro,
is that smart for a drug dealer, or is that worse?
If I've got a knife, a dog's coming towards me.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, look, what you're saying is because the dog's doing the violent act.
Instead of you doing
it. Because
it takes off
the responsibility falls on the owner. Does
it fall on the owner? Yeah. But I think being prosecuted in court, could you say I've got a tapped up dog and I didn't know how to control it? I just feel like it might be less than stabbing someone yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
you could have a point there. To be fair,
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
if I'm walking down the street with an English bull and it's well trained and he knows I'm the master and I say fetch, that's like someone shooting a gun at someone. Same thing. Do you understand? It's like the intent.
I guess they wouldn't be able to know that you said fetch though, whereas they'd know if you had a murder weapon and you'd stab someone. I guess, but yeah, I mean, it's a sticky. No one really knows the ways around that. I guess
there isn't no way around it.
Nah. I mean, you're gonna get caught.
It's a criminal offence at the end of the day, so there's no way around it. If you commit that act of fucking crime, you're
gonna get
So, Cons, you wanted to bring up that the Stevie G thing.
Yeah, I've heard you talk a little bit.
Actually, sorry, should we? Do you guys want to have a break and then bring the Stevie G thing up?
I don't mind. I'm easy.
I'm easy, mate.
Have a little break. Have a little interval.
What do you want a break for?
Just a little toilet break. Just a little interval.
Do you need a toilet?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Look,
I'm sweet, me. I'm sound now.
Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, let's keep
going. What's with the Stevie G thing?
Yeah, so I've heard that he's being surrounded by... Well, it's the rumour on the street. I don't know if it's true. Being surrounded by like a whole criminal family.
Yeah.
Throughout his life, and I don't think that's well known because he's been presented as such a like legend in the scene and whatnot. I don't think it's well known.
He is a legend on the scene. You know, he's a young man from Ayton. regardless of who his family are, regardless of if the drug dealers, regardless if the gangbangers like Jared, they've been at it for years and years. It's not, you can't really let that impact on him.
Yeah.
What he started doing recently is started associating with the Kinahan cartel.
Yes.
And that's where shit gets a little bit sticky.
Yeah, we've heard about them. So that's probably to do with money laundering, I guess. That's his involvement.
It's strictly his daughter has fell in love with a Kinahan.
Boyfriend. Yeah.
And that's.
Oh, is that a straight relation to the Kinahans? No way.
You've got is it Liam Burns' son?
Right. Okay.
Is dating Gerard's daughter.
Yeah.
If you're Stevie G though, you're not allowing that, surely. That's like
you can't choose what your daughter chooses to do.
No, I think she's at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
she's an adult now.
I wouldn't let my daughter date Pablo Escobar's son. Like, I can't lie.
Unless you're friendly with the people, and you know about the people, and you know your daughter's going to be safe with them people.
What if shit hits the fan though?
It's hit the fan. It's hit the fan. But the kids. What I'm saying is, it's like my behaviour shouldn't impact on my children. It does, but it shouldn't. Do you understand what I mean? If you have got Steven Gerrard's daughter courting Liam Burns' son, you can't paint Liam Burns' son with the same brush as what you're painting Liam Burns.
Yeah, it would be unfair. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So if you've got a son, if you're a mad criminal and you've had a son, it's highly unfair to start discriminating against your son because of your behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah, true. It would also be highly unfair for me to have a son, really. If I'm Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, because you're a target.
If I'm gonna have a son, I know my son's from the second my son comes out of my wife's womb, he is a target. He's got a target on his back.
Yeah, but he just makes you vulnerable.
Yeah,
exactly. So I feel like again in that situation, if you're that big, surely you kind of have a bit of influence towards it.
And do you think Liam Burns' son can actually avoid that life of crime? He's in it. It's his family. Do you think he actually has stepped out of? I doubt it.
Just because this is what I'm saying. It's like we're stereotyping here.
Yeah,
we're generalising
here.
We
are. Yeah,
Do
we
don't
know. Yeah, we don't know.
Just because his dad and his uncles and all this
true. It's unfair to do, I guess.
So just because I was a crazy gangster doesn't mean my nieces and nephews are going to be crazy fucked up gangsters.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If anything, it's like I've changed the cycle. I've stopped that cycle from happening with these.
Yeah.
They won't commit crime now because I've carried myself.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to Liverpool, right? Obviously, we go to Liverpool quite often. I absolutely love it. Like, it is genuinely an amazing place to be. Everyone's, like, I feel like everyone's much nicer in Liverpool. I've travelled around the UK quite. I'm not English, but I've travelled around the UK quite a lot, and personally, I think Liverpool is one of the places where you find the nicest people.
Well, we talk.
Are you proud to be a Scouser? Or from Liverpool? Are you proud?
Yeah.
It's a community there that I don't think you get that feel in any other city in the UK. I think that community feel that everyone's friendly.
After each other,
I mean, it might not be in certain areas.
No, you know what, mate?
I
think I think most northern cities are very
friendly,
open,
and
nice. And when you go down south,
no one bats an eye. No one says hi to you on the way.
No one smiles. No one lets on to you. You know, you're just walking past 100 people and not one person's acknowledging you.
Yeah.
London's
Whereas
bad
in Liverpool, Liverpool,
bad
Manchester, Leeds, these northern powerhouses sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're all friendly. We all know how to have a laugh. We all know how to have a fuck. We've all got a little sense of humour, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's what's missing. It's missing. It's really missing at the moment. You see a lot of people just sulking.
They're all easily offended, aren't they?
You can't. Easily distracted, easily offended, mate. We should change our podcast name.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, you're right. You say anything that someone doesn't agree with, you're getting a load of backlash, and you should be able to express your opinion and have a disagreement with someone, talk about it, and we might not agree, but that's how we both think, and we can move on past that. But some people are so hell bent against someone's opinion. It's getting a bit crazy.
They'll take it to the grave, bro. They will take it to the grave. The thing is, as adults, you've got to realise, I'd agree to disagree. That's fine. We have differing opinions. You're not going to have the same opinions I am. You're not going to have the same opinions I am. So when we get to that crossroads, it's going to be like, let's agree to disagree. As adults do, but a lot of people, I feel like, still
you get a lot of people that are delusional, and they think they're fucking great, and they think they're boss, and they've got this ego going through the roof, and because they've got this streak of materialism running right through them, they're all think they're better than everyone else. So the minute someone puts them down just half an inch it's like World War III's broke out.
Game over, yeah.
But
because they've never been spoken the way, hang on, you've got some real speaking to you now.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa.
It's confrontation.
All my little Joeys have never fucking been.
Or the yes men,
But then again, it is about the environment you're in. If you're just going to be in an environment where like, oh yeah, do that, yeah, oh my, yeah, fair, no, you should do that, you should bring that up. Just like make your own decisions.
Well, that's a way of, I forgot, when you're telling people you should do this and you should do that and you should do that, that's passive behaviour. Do you understand? You're not really, you could do this and you could do that instead of you should do this and you should. Do you
because
understand?
then you might as well be doing it yourself. No?
Exactly.
Like you might as well just be like, yeah, fuck off. Let me do it myself. Let me just do it. That actually is.
So when you're suggesting shit, try not to tell them.
No, that's a very good. That is a very good point.
So instead of you should, perhaps you could.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm sitting here now telling you, you should have had that laptop with your thing on. You should have had a sign up there. You should have had that microphone up there. You're just going to be sitting there thinking, "Fuck."
It doesn't go in as well, does it?
Wow, he's telling me what to do here. Whereas, you know what? You could have a sign on the back of your thing, or you could have your microphone up more. It's more approachable.
It goes from criticism to constructive criticism.
Straight away.
Yeah. No, fair play.
So with an online presence, you must have a lot of people with opinions on you.
Oh
so
yeah, but I put myself out there.
Do you ignore that then, or do you actually take any in?
You've got to, mate. And I've always been, since a kid, I've been discriminated against and
so
being on the outside of the crowd.
If someone says a little comment online, it doesn't
hinder me no more. It has done. It's proper because it does.
Yeah, it can.
Because the amount of trolling I get is like unusual. You know, compared to others.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Why do you think?
You know, they say shit like, "I hope your baby dies of cancer."
Mad. That is
some
crazy.
people are just.
You've got to be some tapped sort of individual to
spend time out of your day on someone else's page that you don't have to watch. By the way, you don't have to click on it. Click on it.
The way I say it though, is look. The way I've started approaching these trolls and these weird people, these creatures, is I just look at them like they've got mental health.
Yeah, I mean they probably do.
And they're locking into me and they're trolling me, and it's better me who can handle it
than anyone else.
The next man who will probably put himself on the ceiling off it. And if it's alleviating the troll's mental health, so be it.
Then let them have that release.
You want to troll me, and it's relieving your mind for that little minute minute or whatever you want to fucking call it.
Do it.
Then do it. As long as you're feeling better off it.
It all comes from insecurity, though.
Yeah,
insecurity, 100%. Instability in your life, and jealousy.
Yeah.
Because then again, you're out there, you're spreading your message, not giving a fuck, because you say it how it is, which is good. There's more need for that, I feel like, at the moment. Like again, and people are just jealous of that, because maybe that guy who goes, you know what, you're a knobhead, you're this, you're that, I hope this happens and blah blah blah. He probably just doesn't have the balls to when he goes in public, probably doesn't have the balls to ask for a coffee, to the bartender. It's weird.
Right,
it's so weird.
What social media's done, and pride. I don't know what your sexuality is or not.
Straight up, yeah.
You straight members,
both got.
I've got nothing against bent members or men that think they're women. Do you understand? I've got nothing against it. If you want to live that way, you live that way.
Mm-hmm.
But what you've got to understand with this shit is these trolls. These were the curtain switches of the past.
What do you mean by that?
So you remember on your estate years ago, you had them little weird men.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember your mum used to tell you stay away from strangers, and them strangers would be the ones that spy on you out the windows.
Okay, yeah.
Now, them people that used to twitch on you out your windows, them perverted old men. All this pride and this fucking shit's give them the free will to come out the bedroom and dress like a woman and dress like a rabbit and dress like they're dressing like all sorts these days, aren't they? But
yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
I mean, it can get excessive in some parts. I mean, but not all curtain twitchers, like you say, are people who are homosexual. And I mean, I'm sure there's a large majority of homosexual people that aren't curtain twitchers. But I mean, yeah, there
No,
will
but
be.
I'm not on about homosexuals.
Oh, you're on about.
I'm about
further.
trolls.
He's about. Oh, okay.
Trolls. Okay.
So what I'm saying is,
okay,
you see
I
the
thought you were
weird
on about,
creatures, the ones that are trolling.
But
That's what social
Yeah,
media's done for them.
because they've
It's
been
give them
able
the
to say it
opportunity
behind
to
the
come out
screen.
that room.
You know what
you're
else
right.
social media has done for them is not even made them. You don't even have to go up from your bed to twitch the curtain. You just go on your phone from
That's
your
it
bed.
now.
And there's no consequences to saying what they're saying because
Nothing.
they're just a fake profile. It's not under their own name most of the
true.
time, is it? It's under some fake
It's always
alias.
a fake profile.
Fake alias, and
they
there's
can
no
fix
consequences.
it. They can fix that overnight. These social media platforms overnight they can fix that. All this
but
trolling,
they choose not to. Yeah.
all these young girls and boys self-harming because of the trolls. So you see celebrities hanging themselves because of this trolling shit.
Yeah.
Well, Love Island's a massive thing for that. There's been like the 4 series.
Well, that's what I'm
or
saying.
Like, yeah,
But they come
three
off
people
that.
Died,
They come off that with a huge platform and can't handle the trolling off
Yeah.
it. Do you understand it? And you had that girl. What was her name? Caroline Flack.
Yeah.
She's another example.
Wasn't
of
she
being,
the presenter? She was the
she
presenter,
is.
right? Yeah.
She's another example of
That's
someone that's
horrible
took
in
it
it
on
as well.
through trolling.
I mean, I think if you're putting yourself out there, you do have to have that mental strength to just go. I have to.
That's what I mean. I put
aside
myself
from
out
that,
there, so I know
it's gonna
I'm
come.
putting myself out there for judgment.
Yeah.
I'm there to be judged. That's why I'm on the platform.
I think we had like one comment on our last one. We were talking about because obviously as a female porn star, it was like about a male porn star, and someone put like, "Bro is a little bit too happy talking about a male porn star," or something. And that was like our first experience of like a troll or whatever. And
It's
you know what?
funny,
We're like,
you know,
laugh at it.
What happens is they try what the trolls do. They try and assassinate your character first and foremost. They try and make you insecure and give you complexes. So what they'll start doing, they'll say shit like your nose. Hell, your nose is big. And then they won't say nothing.
Yeah.
But that seed's planted in your head.
Yeah, now you're thinking about it.
And now you're sitting there thinking, wow, my fucking nose.
Yeah.
And then I'll reiterate it. I'll reiterate it again. Then later, fucking hell, your nose is massive. And then 2 weeks down the line, you're in the mirror.
Yeah. You're thinking, can I get a nose job or what should I do?
Now what you've developed there is a complex. You've developed a complex because people have give you a complex.
Yeah,
and that makes you insecure,
it,
and that's
like
why you start getting your nose done, and your nose job.
And it probably
Charles,
is easy
you
to
start
get
what
to
it
you
does,
as well.
Charles,
Yeah.
So if you know, you'll get people who'll say, "Fucking hell, you're a fat cunt."
In it, bro. You're fat. as fuck.
Do you
Your
understand what I
nostrils
mean?
are getting a bit big these days.
Yeah,
mate.
But then 2 months down the line, you're crash dieting.
Yeah.
Because I've give you a complex 2 months before.
So for women,
yeah.
I think that's a massive thing.
Big
They're
thing
seeing
for women.
these Instagram models and whatnot, and the expectation is I have to be like that, and it's not realistic. They're editing photos and whatnot, and that can be mentally damaging. So I think social media overall probably hasn't had a positive effect.
No, it doesn't.
I think it has positive parts about it. People get to have a platform, get to make businesses, have marketing and whatnot, but overall I don't think it has a
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting
China,
to know.
In China, where TikToks originates from, no 16-year-old gets the content that we get.
No. Yeah,
Everyone's 16
censored.
and under. Their TikTok platform only gives them education, constructive information. Doesn't give them all this daft dickheads.
No, we
shit.
just have
See our 13-year-old
We've
kids.
got General G, mate.
That's what I'm saying. You see our 14-year-old kids watching fucking General G and all these weird pamphlets. In China, they're watching fucking mathematics.
Actual useful things, and that's because they created it and they're now disadvantaging
They
other
know the damage.
countries.
They
Yeah.
mathematics, right?
It works
And
out.
everyone's future is the children.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Everyone's future is the children.
Yeah, so
And if you're raising a generation of children, how to kiss a man, we're fucked, aren't we?
Yeah, we are fucked. I think we're beyond fucked at this point as well. I think it's already got to that point where the damage has been done. If it was to stop now, it's still in society.
Yeah, it's already there now.
Yeah, I think
No,
we're beyond.
I feel like when it comes to kids, especially in schools these days, you need to let a child have their own path. You can't be like spurring a child one way. You need to let them decide. I had a child right now. My child is a boy. He wants to be a boy. Perfect. My child's a girl. They want to be a girl. Perfect. My child's a boy and they want to be a girl. That's fine. If that's what you really want, that's okay. But again, like, it shouldn't be in schools where like my child should have to question their sexuality, because Again, you said a story about one of your cousins.
Yeah, I have a cousin who's like 10, 11. He's getting taught. Mainly, you used to get taught sex education and actual just education, male, female, and that's how it is. Now it's you can identify as what you want. More about teaching them a different sort of view on things that is now
more complex.
Yeah, it's a lot more complex. And they go home and they go, "Oh, should I be a woman?"
Well,
why are you planting that seed?
What do you think? Why do you think they're planting that seed? And what do you think?
I'm
what
not
do you
sure,
think their
actually.
overall goal is?
I think
indoctrinate everyone.
I think
that's what school is.
Yeah.
So in life you'll learn, in school you're taught.
Yeah.
So why would they want to teach
that?
that?
That is
because obviously if that happens to everyone in school, then we will stop growing as a human race because we won't be having kids. So why would they want to teach that in school? Why I don't get why that would be a positive for...
We can just start going into all these theories that are not proven, and then we just get classed as conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I mean, I am.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I'm a fucking pretty big.
But if you look at it, they're basically trying to depopulate.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And the best way to depopulate is stop procreating.
Yeah, which is by doing what they're doing.
But
why would they want to depopulate? Is what my
we'll never know, mate.
Is, yeah.
We'll never know.
There's definitely things going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Well, there's already documents out there that are fact where these powers that be are saying we need to depopulate the world by 3.5 million people by the year 2035.
Well, yeah, didn't China put in some...
This is fact, though. This is like this Scorbs. This
I heard we're actually underpopulated. I heard from somewhere else that we're actually underpopulated. This is like a massive.
Well, probably because this is going on. I think I don't think we're underpopulated right now. I think it's slowly the rate of our population is.
But it's plateauing. Yeah, hopefully.
Right, but who tells us this?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
there's no space for homes. There's no space for homes. You drive through Wales, you're not seeing a fucking house. You're just seeing massive hills everywhere. Well, most of this country is barren land. Yeah. There's not even houses on them.
Well, we live in Yorkshire, which is
Scotland.
So you know, you're
go
Dubai, country, aren't you?
Yeah, go Dubai. It's literally just a big city and then desert all around it. That's all it is. Just go there. That's all it is. And we do have space. It's just whether, obviously, with more buildings, there's more pollution and more blah 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 blah. That adds things to the environment. And
there's a lot of green space, Greenland they call it, only work that can't be built on.
Yeah, because it's like protected.
Because
there's
protected, something under it. That's my opinion.
Well, it'll be just like a wild, like a national park or something like where it's just like protected.
But if we were that desperate, they would remove this national park.
But no, you can't because trees bring oxygen. That brings a lot of oxygen that we have under this.
Yeah, but a lot of these national parks, a lot of the space isn't all trees.
Well, most of it will be. Look at if you've seen an aerial shot of the Amazon, it's just literally all green. It's all trees.
I've obviously living in Yorkshire. I've seen fields after fields after.
Yorkshire can be compared to the
acres,
Amazon,
like thousands of acres though, where housing could be built on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the reason they're not is because there's shit underneath them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff underneath our feet that we're unaware of. We always look at the sky.
I seen quite an interesting thing on Joe Rogan the other week. Obviously, we think UFOs and aliens and whatnot are all like sky based. There's been tracking this came out underwater that things are moving around underwater that we can't move that fast underwater. It's not physically
you can't even
possible.
go that deep down, mate.
Yeah. So no, but they've tracked certain things moving that aren't humanly like.
You've seen them, but they're very hard to believe, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, you see these things
coming
out the water and then going back in the water.
But then again, you also see like people disappearing for really mysterious reasons that couldn't have been because they were swept away or because we're in the sea. Like
they're just being taken.
Yeah. Little 5 minutes.
Do what you want, lad.
We're back. Just took a little break. Darren, we've got a very, very, very important question to ask you. This is one of our segments on the podcast. Obviously, you weren't able to bring them with you, but we'd like to know your 3 essentials in life. Like, what is it? Like, you wake up in the morning and you're like, I have to have these 3 or 5 things on me at all time.
Oh, on you?
Yeah, or just on you, or like just to have a significant impact.
Has it got to be something that's not on you?
Just an essential in your life.
My essentials in my life, what I feel I need the most, more than anything. Me eyes, me ears, and me mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
You know
that
what?
it is a good
Fucking
answer.
play.
It is a
Fair
good
play.
answer.
That is genuine. That has to be the most unique 3 essentials. Reply, bro.
Yeah, no one else has
out of
probably
all,
said
like
that.
you see it happen like that. They're like, oh, I need my phone, I need my freaking what else? I
yeah.
need my laptop.
No, you know what?
I
You've
need my
actually hit the
dog,
nail on
right?
the head
Yeah.
there. You have, and
Eyes, ears,
without
the most valuable
3
things
senses.
in
and
life.
I think we
are
don't
free.
appreciate that, so we didn't even. I wouldn't have even thought about that, but
Yeah.
because we don't appreciate it, we take it for granted.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And it's all free.
Yeah.
We've got too
And
much
the most
shit.
dearest and valuable things in your life are free.
Yeah.
All of it.
And you take it for granted.
Yeah.
And we have, like you said, about to say, we have so much shit involved in our lives now, like so much add-ons, like phones and technology and stuff
Yeah,
like that. You
external.
don't even really think
It's all
about
external.
you don't really think about the internal, do you?
It's all distraction.
Yeah.
Easily
Everything out
distracted,
here is designed to distract you
From your main.
from your path.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean the world of like the way we're going from what we first stemmed on with just having our own beings, and then we weren't like 20 years ago. Phones weren't even like you weren't able to open a phone up, and you weren't able to do this with AI and stuff like that nowadays. I think it's gonna get a lot worse and a lot more like dehumanized as we go.
It gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah. So do you think we'll hit a point where we go like, right, this is too much? We're gonna have to go backwards.
It's too late for that.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's well too late.
What's next?
What's next, mate? The monetization of your money.
The monetization of your money. You mean by like as in you're having to, but
Okay.
How does
You've earned £500
Yeah.
this week. We're letting you spend £45, no more.
So they control. Yeah,
so
controlling
it's
it.
a cap on how much you're allowed to spend.
No, they'll tell you
Okay.
what you're allowed to spend
Okay.
on your card.
Mad.
Yeah, because there's
Now you
It's
can just
getting
walk
like
in
that
and go
though,
bim,
isn't
bim,
it?
bim, bim,
cash
bim,
is
bim,
just
bim,
becoming non-existent.
and just get what you want.
Yeah.
We're already digital money now. I know you've got cash floating around here and there,
Rare though.
but it's digital
Yeah.
money.
It's dying. Yeah. It's
The fact
dying.
you've got a bank card, that's digital.
Yeah.
It's a digital
Yeah,
transaction.
I mean, you don't
So-
even need the card anymore. It's on your phone.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's all digital already.
And I think in other countries they have technology where you've got a chip in your hand and just.
Well, that's what's
tap
coming,
your
isn't it?
hand, Yeah.
Mm.
That's
I think it's
definitely
already
gonna come.
came in.
Yeah, no, it's
other
been
countries,
around
yeah.
for a couple of years now.
It's already there. The
Yeah.
technology. Look, what we get shown is
nothing,
20 years
yeah.
later.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Do you understand?
isn't it?
So we're getting AI now. They've been using AI for 2 decades. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So they just control the
It's not new to them.
of it, yeah, they
Yeah,
control
yeah.
how
It's
it
not
comes
new to
out.
them. They've had it for years and years.
So
Went through the failures of it. Went through the risks of it getting. They've gone
Yeah.
through it before they've give it to us.
does that mean they have control over it? Though?
Yeah, full
Yeah.
control.
So hopefully they would be able to control the way it goes.
Everything electronic. Controlled by them.
Yeah. But
So-
they say
Yeah, 'cause
AI
it's
is
traceable.
gonna.
It's all traceable.
Everything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's traceable. Again, like they say, oh yeah, your information's not going to be shared. It is. No matter what,
Yeah,
your
it's definitely
information
shared,
will
yeah.
be sold and it will be
Yeah,
shared.
because you sign up to companies like
Yeah.
Google and stuff. They're selling your data off. For
And
like,
Facebook.
Yeah, they're selling data off.
But the
which
minute
is-
that if you sit down with someone in authority and say this is confidential, bam, 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 but the minute you mention anything that's a threat to the state, that's not confidential no more. Do you understand? So anything, I hate the Queen, it's not confidential no more.
He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that.
Oh no, I love the
No,
Queen.
I'm
lad.
taking a piss.
I love the Queen. It's not. There's nothing more satisfying than looking at a powerful woman, mate.
Yeah, you know what? Fair play. Fair play. We need more of them.
Badly.
We need more of
Yeah.
them.
And
We
I
need
don't
more of them.
mean aggressive women.
Yeah.
Powerful woman and an aggressive woman's completely
Different.
fucking different.
Yeah.
You know what you tend to see. You tend to see usually a woman who gets to a position of power and big power, like Hillary Clinton or blah blah blah. Obviously, maybe Hillary Clinton might be a bad example because of all the controversy, but something like that. You know what I mean? It's usually a woman with balls, mate. A woman who has it just takes life by the balls and is just like no bullshit.
Every woman.
No bullshit. And it's sad it has to be like that because obviously the world.
When you're growing
again,
up, mate,
Yeah.
who was you scared of the most, your dad or your ma?
Ooh, depends though. Depends, because my mum, probably my dad more than my mum. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, same.
Your dad? Dads were the physical ones, weren't they?
No, I'd say dad usually if there's something's up, your dad sits you down and like the experience I've had.
You've had good experience.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my dad will sit me down and be like, mate, like it's a stern talking. Whereas your mum, it's all like, like all you.
They're more caring for you.
It's a much different telling off. Whereas your dad, it's just like it's serious. Lock in, bro, or you're done out.
Yeah,
that's the type.
I think that's because
they're much more confronting from a dad.
I think that's the way male and female brains work. Though they're very straight. Male are very straight to the point, whereas female, I think, can do things a lot like around, and instead of being straight, it's just it's just very not straight to the point. There's a lot of different aspects to that.
Yeah, men go through the bush, whereas women beat round it, don't they?
Much more emotional. A woman's point of view will be much more emotional than a man's who will be just straight to the point, like sort it out. That can't run. Whereas if it's from your mum, it'll be like, oh, because of blah 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 blah, and there's many different layers to it, and it's obviously like, that's from my experience, and that's from like what general experience. But obviously, I know what you said. You had a different experience to that, and it's so like how did that go for you? Like
I was more scared of my mum.
Mm-hmm. How come?
I don't know. She never really laid her hands on us neither.
Mm.
But I was more scared of upsetting my mum than upsetting my dad.
Well, is that because, like, did you maybe like resent your dad to the point where you just didn't want? So you're just like, you don't give a fuck. Like, fuck that guy.
I hated him. Yeah.
So your mum had more of an importance. Like her opinion had more of an importance to you, right?
So basically, if you're upset mum, she'd tell dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then it's peak.
So it was best not to upset mum.
Okay. Fair.
You stay on the good side of her.
Upset mum, you get a few body shots off dad.
Are you big into sports? Do you follow any sports?
Not really.
Not really. Football, football fan?
Well, I can speak about football. I'm not a fan.
Okay. Do you support anyone?
I used to support Liverpool years ago.
Oh, okay. Fair. And
just causes too much division, mate.
Oh yeah,
it's
football.
Crazy,
football's the biggest divider and unifier of
doesn't
globally.
Unify no one.
Really? Do you reckon?
Who does it unify?
It stopped the war.
Fans together.
It stopped the
war.
war.
Fans?
Like your own personal.
Oh yeah, they stopped the war.
Yeah, football stopped the war.
Yeah, German and England had a game of football.
Yeah, but football.
That's what they tell us.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems too good to be true.
Everything we've been told, to be honest with you, mate, is like a fairy tale.
I guess.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, like what are the chances of
an
England v German?
What's the chances, lad? What's the chances a fairy's gonna come through your window, go under your pillow, and take your tooth?
Very low. Very low.
Know what I mean? And that's how we're raised.
Yeah,
we're raised through lies.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You're right. You're right there.
I mean, I've seen you say about combat sports, like street fighting. Obviously, you've probably had a fair few.
Yeah.
I've seen you saying it doesn't really affect street fighting.
It doesn't.
No. Do you not think so? Why wouldn't someone who's trained, let's say Paddy Pimblett?
Yeah, look, you can get someone that's trained MMA for 15 years and someone that's punched a punch bag for 15 years, not trained, just punched the punch bag. One punch can ruin him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kid's never been in a ring. This kid's never done MMA, never done karate, never done jiu-jitsu, but he knows how to throw a fucking good punch.
Yeah.
And it only takes one punch, mate. You ask any fighter, ask any professional fighter, it takes one punch to turn everything on its head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that with the UFC.
That's what I'm saying. If you've got a heart and lungs,
anything can put.
You're
if
equal.
It's hitting the right spot.
You're equal.
Yeah.
You might have an MMA fighter for 20 years, but walking into an octagon with a team behind you is different from walking into a room with no one with you.
And there's no rules there.
Exactly.
You can bite,
I can rip your sack off. I can gouge your eye. I can bite your nose.
Yeah, no rules.
Where they've been trained to not hit people in a certain place.
Yeah. You can't kick them.
So all of a sudden, 20 years later, after all that training, then it's a natural return. So they'll get you in a headlock.
Yeah.
Instead of fucking gouging your eye out back.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's how they're trained.
It's almost like muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory.
Exactly the same thing. Yeah.
So speaking of fighting, have you ever considered maybe putting yourself forward for a bit of misfits boxing? A bit of fighting. I reckon you could pagger most people
for the right price.
Realistically,
if the price was good, mate, I'd fucking fly at it.
What would be the?
Sign him up. Sign him up. Who
you know
what
fight? Though, mate? It depends who it was. Depends who the opponent was.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give a knobhead a stage.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. Who would you? If you had to call someone out right now, who would you call out?
Darren Till.
Darren Till.
No way, really?
In a boxing fight, to be fair. If it was MMA, obviously it would be.
Do you have animosity towards Darren? Or no. Just
what I was describing.
Obviously, I just don't like his people.
Who? What do you mean by
the
that?
people he mixes with.
Right. Okay. Who are they?
And as you were saying before, you are who you with.
Well, like Paul Kelly and people like that. What do they actually get up to? Because for me, I see it from an outsider's point of view.
Paul Kelly's just a drug dealing scumbag, mate.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know, he's had it on a plate. Yeah. He had it on a plate. You know, you're in the UFC. Why the fuck are you going to deal drugs?
So does he move a large amount of drugs to want to do that? Or
I don't even know what he's up to now. Do you understand what I'm saying? But, you know, don't think the Encro chat hasn't put the 5-0 on them. Yeah. You know, they're just waiting.
Well, I mean, I think there was that thing with Paddy Pimblett recently. His best friend went to court for, I forgot what the charge was. Murder charge. And he's involved. That's his best mate. So there's a lot of things.
I spoke about that 2 years ago.
What was it that long ago? I thought it was
It might have been a bit longer or earlier. Yeah. But you had Paddy Pimblett come out and speak about his main, Sean Zeese.
Yeah.
Where his mate had topped himself and he got a phone call off his mate Zeese.
After the fight, Not
everyone knew at that time what I knew. I knew Cease was involved in the murder of Ashley Dale.
Right, okay.
I knew that. So I put my content out. Paddy Pamblett's mixed with this fucking firm. Bam, he needs to sort his head out and get back on with his career. I think he's distanced himself from them now. He's had to.
Rightly so.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Well, you seen him, didn't you? You seen him fucking flying, and then all of a sudden he just went out the picture.
Yeah, you're right. You are right.
That's probably the reason. Distance himself from that poisonous shit. And get his career back on track.
Well, rightly so. He's got such potential.
He's a boss Scouse kid, you know, Paddy Pimblett. You can't go wrong with him. He's just a young Scouse kid from the streets, being put in a gym from an early age, and he's representing Liverpool.
It's a bit like Jamie Webster. I've seen him live.
Same sort of thing. There's loads of boss Scousers.
Yeah.
And
there's more boss ones than not, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's more boss Scousers, but the majority of these boss Scousers, it's the associates.
Yeah,
it's very hard.
Linked to it.
It's very hard in Liverpool to stay away from organised crime groups. It's just too hard. You can be a legit member of not commit crime on the street, but when you go into your local pub of a Friday night, you're mixing with the locals, and most of your locals are organised crime members. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's very hard to keep away from them
when you
people.
say that, it obviously mixing yourself in the culture, pub culture, whatnot. Did that have you did that have you using drugs at a young age? Like, did that have you involved with stuff like that at a young age?
Yeah, I was sniffing cocaine at 15.
That was when you first did it. Could you ever go back from that? Well, obviously, I don't.
What do you mean go back?
Like once
you
can't
go back.
Yeah.
And that's where people are fucking up. And what a lot of people do is they'll refer back to when they were 19, fit, strong, in the gym. And what they say to themselves is, I want to get back to that. And you can't go back in the past. And if you try and get back to that, you'll get lost trying to get back to that. Instead of saying, I want to get back to the way I was there, you should be saying, I want to get to better than what I was there. Yeah. You know, just the mind's just switch the mind.
Yeah, it's all mentality. Yeah, it is.
So when you first tried that, though, so how long did that usage go on for?
Till I went to jail.
And then
I'd come off it when I went to jail, and then I'd come out and get back on it.
Was that hard to do?
No, because when you're 15, you don't realise that you're doing a cold turkey.
You
don't realise that you're doing withdrawals and shit.
So it's mental,
It's like you're just going through something.
It goes to show it's all mental, isn't it?
Everything's mental.
Because if you think, I'm quitting now and it's cold turkey now, you're going to probably have extra almost withdrawal symptoms, because you're thinking about it and you're thinking, I'm gonna have these symptoms, so they're almost enhanced. And if you don't think about it, you think, I'm 15, I'm coming off it.
You know what it was with me, as I said, I was with the oldest right through my school years. When my mates are still in school till 16, by the time I'm 16, I've done 2 jail sentences. Do you understand what I mean?
Ooh,
Yeah.
And it was the jail that stopped me going further on the coke. Because I've gone to jail and then got out and went, I'm not going back on the coke. Because jails give me that period of clarity, if you like.
Yeah, facilitated you coming off it. So was coke the only thing you were using, or were you doing anything like
magic?
Oh, okay.
MDMA.
Yeah.
Trips. So all the drugs I've taken in my life are cocaine, cannabis, speed, trips, LSD, and ecstasy.
Okay. So really just like the drugs that are have always been in circulation in the UK. So
never went to the class A drugs, like the crack, the smack.
Okay, yeah.
I have brothers that went on that.
Yeah. How did that affect them? Just one way
Screwing
path.
them.
Yeah.
Are you close to your brothers?
I haven't spoke to none of my brothers for well over a decade.
Oh, okay. So since you've come out of prison, or
since I've come out of custody, I opened up to them a little bit, and then thought, you know what, it's in my own interest to jog these on.
Yeah. Fair.
Was there no benefit through keeping contact?
They're happy living that life, whereas I've left
still
that
in,
life.
they're still in that.
They're doing whatever they do.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't
fair.
even associate with them.
Yeah, fair.
You know, I've completely changed myself. And when you do the reformation of yourself the way I have, you've got to be very sacrificial.
So obviously you have so many brothers. Is it like, obviously the G name must be some sort of, it's got some sort of name to it. Is it hard living, coming out of that loop of what your brothers might be doing, coming out of it, living with that name? Is it hard
but my brothers aren't even doing nothing now.
Oh, they're not, no.
Do you understand?
But if
the name was established years ago, and
right,
it's still being spoken about now.
Yeah.
But it's only being spoken about now because of my approach to life now.
Yeah.
And so you are able to leave that life.
No.
So you reckon that life
you
will
are,
always follow you?
But that doesn't leave you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've had 3 attempts on my life in the past 8 years. Not one of them's to do with what I've been doing now.
All past.
It's all the past.
And that living with that must be
it's part and parcel.
I'd be paranoid living with that my whole life. I mean, it's not.
Do you always feel like you have to look over your shoulder when you?
No, I don't, mate.
You don't. You just.
I mean, what happens is going to happen.
If it happens,
I'm a firm believer, mate. If you run from death, it'll chase you.
Yeah.
Like anything, you run from anything, it's going to chase you.
Fair.
You're best standing and just like taking it.
Yeah.
Fair.
But your death day is just as important as your birthday, mate.
Yeah.
The day you're born, the day you die's got more importance than the day you're born. But everyone celebrates the birthday.
Yeah, no one celebrates the death.
Like it's good.
Yeah. And you have so many birthdays as well.
When in reality, it's your death. That's the biggest moment of your life.
Yeah. Because that's you, and that's what you've done, and that's it after that.
That's what you've done here.
Yeah.
That's what you've done here.
Is the afterlife then?
I believe there's an afterlife.
And in what way? Heaven, hell, or do you think it's different?
Good fucking question, that.
We're in heaven now.
Right, okay.
It just looks like hell.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what?
Honest to God,
you know what?
Yeah,
that will honestly, that quote right there will get people thinking, because I can't lie to you. I kind of agree with you. We're living in it. We get glimpses of heaven, don't we?
Exactly. I say it to my people all the time, and this is what I try and explain to them. If you took every bit of man-made dirt off this planet, what have you got?
Fuck all.
Do you know what man-made dirt is?
Yeah, like
the pollution.
Where we're sat in right now.
Concrete,
pollution,
steel, tarmac.
You just got trees, really. Trees, hills, water.
No pollution, no car engines, none of this shit. So if you take all man-made objects off this planet, what are you looking at?
A planet that would live forever.
You're looking at paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, utopia. It's a utopia. We can only
You're
think
looking
about
at
that as a utopia.
Tropical parrots just floating in the sky. You're looking at giraffes right across the planet. You're looking at all these animals flourishing. You're looking at clear blue sea right down to the depth. You're looking at clear blue sky. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Green, colourful, vibrance. That's what the planet would look like now,
and
if man wouldn't have landed on it.
You're actually spitting fact.
It makes you think, doesn't it, on a bigger scale?
Yeah.
Are humans like leeches? You know, are we going from planet to planet, sucking it dry, then moving to the next one?
Yeah, because
we're the parasites. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
So if you think about it this way, like if you think about this way, say your body is the world, right? And I started putting needles in you from your toes to your head, right the way up here, and slowly started dripping blood out of you. Out of every needle, I'm slowly dripping blood out of you. What's going to happen to you?
You're going to bleed out.
You're just going to...
Yeah.
You're going to fuck up, aren't you? So if I've got the world and I'm putting oil rigs all over the world and I'm slowly bringing the blood out the core of the world, what's going to happen?
It's going to, at some point, it's going to fold, yeah.
And that's what you're witnessing now.
Yeah.
And is there much we can do about it now? Are we that deep into it?
It's out of our hands, really.
We can't fix it.
Yeah, and as especially as individuals.
And don't forget, we only come into this plan for 70 years if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Some of us might get to 80, some of us might get to 90. But we've come into a plan that's been existing for thousands of years. We're nothing. We're nothing in this big picture.
Wonder how different the world could be if certain people put different foots in different places, if you know what I mean. So if one person didn't invent one thing that was so damaging. Money. Why do we need money, really?
You don't.
I always question it. Like,
we don't.
No.
This is a mushroom trip type of question.
But
why is money? Like, why?
But you don't need it.
No.
You need it because you can't survive without it now, because that's how the powers that be want it. But for you to live a healthy life, you don't need money.
No. Absolutely not.
Because you'd be
these days, but the cavemen back in the day.
Even mate, you can have 2 chickens in your garden, and they will give you 12 eggs a day.
You can live on that.
Right? In the same garden, you can have carrots, apples, bananas, oranges, anything you want, and you're paying for them in supermarkets.
Yeah, it's
and the ones in supermarkets are poisoned.
It's crazy how much we're indoctrinated to feel like, you know, we can't do it on our own. We have to go to the supermarket.
This is what I'm saying. We don't know. We're born into this way of living. When your nan and that was born, they were born into a particular way of living. And back then, when your nan and that were born, they had allotments in the gardens. Every nan and granddad that I remember, they had a little glass shed in the garden, and they were growing their own veggies, and they were growing their own things.
Yeah.
Now you've got people spending 20-30 quid on vegetables every week because
it's
they want to be healthy.
The prices of things are crazy.
I went to Sainsbury's the other day. Like, I don't usually go to Sainsbury's, but I went to Sainsbury's the other day because it's my closest shop. I needed like some emergency supplies. Mate, I got like some mushrooms, like some vegetables, like genuinely like a handful of vegetables. It was like it covered that much. It was like 8 quid.
It's crazy, and then we slave.
£8.
Most people slave an hour for that.
What I'm saying is, what I mean is though, that £8, you could have just went into your garden, and went bam, 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 and there's no pesticides on this shit in your garden. There's no chemicals to keep it fresh or to keep the bugs off it.
It's because we're lazy though, as a human race. You don't want to wait that long to it's gonna grow. My God, I have to wait. You know, keep watering every day because we're lazy. We're just a lazy human race.
It's not. I don't think it's that you're lazy. I think the kids these days aren't encouraged to be natural.
Yeah, it's just not the way of.
No, you're right. There's no
there's no encouragement to remain natural.
Yeah. No,
do you understand?
Right. No, you're fully right.
It's all about synthetic shit now. It's all fake.
Yeah. Eddie Abu's that new. Have you seen him? Eddie Abu. He's this new like guy who goes into supermarkets and he picks up your standard thing. He shows the amount of ingredients. And
I think is that the black guy?
Yeah.
The fitness head.
Yeah, that they put into.
I've seen him, and he'll tell you straight.
He's got a point.
Stay away from the cereal.
He's got a valid point.
Because what we seem to be doing now is raising kids on processed food.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Everything's processed now.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So your cereals, it's all processed food.
Yeah. And that's your first meal of the day. So how's that going to set you up for...
It doesn't. It makes you crash.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea going vegetarian or vegan?
I've been a vegan for 3.5 years.
You're a vegan, right?
I was.
Oh, you were, okay.
And it just makes you sick.
Does it?
Yeah.
But do you think it had a positive impact on your body though?
I tell you what it did do. It helped my cardiovascular system. It helped me cardiovascular system. It helped me breathing a lot better. Because straight away, you're getting rid of the red meat.
Yeah.
And red meat, you shouldn't be eating red. A lot of people, you should eat red meat. You should eat red meat. But to me, I haven't red meat now for 17 years.
It fucks your stomach up.
Yeah.
Red meat.
It does mad damage to you, that red meat.
How many years was that?
17 years.
Wow. So you just plainly just chicken, turkey,
fish.
I only eat fish and birds.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And birds as well.
Birds and fish.
Okay, first. Oh.
So a bird's duck.
Yeah.
Chicken, turkey.
Yeah, I mean, it's so integrated into society that red meat comes with your Sunday lunch, whatever. I mean, it's just like it's part
like
of it, isn't it? Yeah.
A lamb
I don't know how like you would. I mean, making the change probably wouldn't be that hard, but it's making that step.
I tell you what made me change was I used to have a steak 3 times a week. You know, like when I was 21 and that. And I used to go to them Weatherspoons and get your peppercorn sauce and your onion rings and all that. And I used to polish. And then I read something that one of them 6-ounce steaks has taken 10 to 14 days to go through my system.
Yeah. Fuck off! I did not know that. Are you
10
taking the
to
piss?
14 days.
Are you taking
Your
the
digestive system can't break it down.
That makes sense.
So when it comes out, you're just shitting the steak out.
Fuck, that actually makes so much sense.
14
That makes so much
days,
sense.
so-
No, from that day on,
Yeah.
I've stopped eating red meat.
Because your stomach will feel a bit. If after you red meat,
Definitely imagine eating a steak on a Monday, and the same steak still on you on the Wednesday, and then you're going for another one on the Friday, and not one of them's left your body yet.
Never goes through.
Yeah, you keep
So
repeating
imagine
the
the damage
cycle.
in here.
Yeah.
Imagine that little ball of fat just sitting in your gut for months, rotting away.
Speaking of, obviously, you spoke about birds. So speaking of birds, in a different type of way. So how do you think? Obviously, the big attraction of being a gangster and being like this tough guy and stuff like that is obviously you get more attraction from birds because you've got a bit more money. You look like a tough guy. A lot of women are attracted by that. But how do you think that could negatively affect you? Because then doesn't that give you a unrealistic expectation of what you should? Because no one's going to be a gangster forever. You either die being a gangster, or you either get out of it and then become a normal person, and then you don't have that attraction anymore because it's just it's just a standard guy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I think I might have explained it a bit.
No,
wrong,
it makes sense, but to me, I don't know about your viewers.
What do you mean, Matt?
With what?
What do you mean? No, what do you mean, Matt? What do you mean?
So when you said there, does that make sense? It makes sense to me, but I don't know whether your viewers will make sense of it.
Oh,
As in-
viewers, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was.
Well, no. So your life as a gangster.
Look, listen. So if you're a gangster and you're the main face in your area, you're gonna attract the
women.
shit.
The groupies.
You're gonna attract the fake hair, fake lips, fake boobs. You're gonna attract them girls that go on OnlyFans and shit.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas you don't want that type of woman. That's not marriage material.
No.
And if you've got any morals and you're looking to settle down with a woman, you do not want a woman that's plastic.
No.
Yeah.
It's the
You don't
opposite
want a
of what you
woman that's sniffing cocaine. You don't want a woman that's taking drugs to lose weight. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're a gangster, that's all that's on offer.
Yeah, because that's what group
That's
you're
all
surrounded
that's on
by.
offer.
That's your environment. That's your environment.
That's on offer. Whereas
Yeah.
really,
Scroats, really.
you want the natural woman who may have had her lips done a little bit, but she's not looking like a fish.
Minor.
And I
Do you
think
understand what I
Don't
mean?
mind a bit. Don't mind a bit of lip filler, right?
So what's your thing in it? Like, do you believe in one relationship for the rest of your life, or are you just like, I'm banging as many birds as I can?
I've got a missus, and I could see myself being with her for life. She's
Well,
a
there you
good
go.
girl. She's not like what you just described.
Exactly,
She's like,
that. And if you've got a good girl,
stick
keep
with
them.
her. Yeah.
Same.
and you know what happens, mate, with people, I don't know what your background is, but what happens with people like yourself is you've got a boss bird,
Yeah.
but she's good.
Yeah.
And every man likes a little bit of fucking risk.
What do you mean by risk, though?
You know, if you've got a little scut moving to you,
right, okay,
and you've had this goody two shoes for time, and then all of a sudden you've got this crazy little bitch popping into you. Every man likes this little bit of craziness going on. So it's but what they do, not every man. Not every man will go for it. That's the point I'm making. Not every man will go for it.
But the temptation, you're talking about the
temptations.
But I guess they have the same temptations as well. Like, I mean, there's always going to be temptations in life. It's how you.
I don't know, you know.
Nah,
I don't know, mate. There's a reason why you can get one woman pregnant for 9 months.
Yeah, mate, you actually have so many anecdotes.
You understand what I'm saying?
So many anecdotes. That's just like, that actually makes so much sense.
I don't think women are like men. I mean, the women that are fucked on drugs and drink, they're a lot looser.
Yeah.
But your good woman doesn't think like a man.
No, what I meant by temptations was just like they'll have some good-looking guy, maybe even trying to hit on them. It might not be tempting to them, but it'll be around them. You know what I mean?
But if you've got a good girl,
they won't entertain her.
It'll be battered off.
Yeah.
If you haven't got that good girl that you've got now, if you've got a cokehead, like I mentioned,
it'll be straight on.
It's not getting battered off. It's looking at the watch and what car have you got.
Yeah.
Regardless if she's been with you for 10 years. If you're not there and she's got my man putting it on her, she's going to go with it.
Bigger than you or whatever.
She's going to go with it.
You've also got to have respect for yourself for who you're going into. Because again, it's all fun and games if you banging a girl that's like that. But then again, when you go into a relationship with her, she goes on a night out without you for once, and then there's the geezer who's like maybe got a bit more dough than you, and she just looks at, oh, you know what, he's actually got an AP on his wrist. My boyfriend's only got a Rolex.
Yeah,
he drives a Ferrari. My boyfriend drives a G-Wagon.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
No.
You know, you've got some girls that are with drug dealers, and you just shouldn't be with them.
Yeah. Well, you've got girls who are good girls. You've got good girls who get like actually dragged into the wrong type of person.
This is because love's blind, mate.
Yeah.
When you're in love, no one can tell you any difference.
Yeah. I wonder what that initial attraction is, though, to like that typical bad boy sort of vibe. I wonder because
every girl likes a bad boy.
So I wonder why that is.
It's not really the bad boy. It's the rough man.
Yeah. I wonder why that. I don't know where that comes from. Whether it stems from going all the way back to blooming caveman days, and it goes to who's winning in the fist fight for whatever territory or whatever, but I don't know where it stems from really. I mean, do you have any understanding of why a woman would go for that?
It's just like Tarzan and Jane, isn't it? Do you understand what I mean? Do you remember Tarzan?
No.
How old were you?
Oh, I've seen Tarzan, yeah, but I haven't watched it properly. No. I'm only 20.
Basically, you've got the machoism of a man, which is appealing to the woman. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got women now who are built like me.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be with a bigger man. They don't want to be with a stronger man.
Yeah,
They'd rather have the skinny little turd. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So
tell them send them the shop and shit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Tables and turn, yeah.
There's so many of those people out there, I can't lie.
But I just feel that proper women, you know, decent, real women, they just like macho men, so they feel protected by the man.
Yeah, I think that's a value of a male, isn't it?
Human nature, though,
protect the woman.
And then the woman does all the...
They don't like that these days, and that's why they're trying to eradicate it from family life, if you like.
Yeah, it's now very... It was so normal for the woman to stay at home and the man to go out and earn a living. Now it's... Everyone's got to contribute equally.
I personally, obviously might be a different opinion, but like I personally think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing that, again, everyone has their use. It's not just like, you know, just because you're a woman, you have to stay at home. Do you know what I mean? Like,
not have to.
It's not that. It's not about that.
But then again, as a mother, then it's a completely different kettle of fish.
But if you're a mother, you should want to be around your kids every fucking minute of the day, shouldn't you?
Yeah. But what about a father? What would you say about a father? Like, again, you're going out and providing, but then don't you also? Shouldn't you also want to?
I think it's different.
It's different. It's different because it's been, as we go back to the things that's been instilled in us and what's been told to us. It's different, but then obviously nowadays you see many more people who are like stay-at-home dads. You know, I personally could never be that because, again, I want to...
Because what's happened is when our mums and dads were growing up, that was the case. Mums would stay at home, look at the kids. Dads would go to London, do the roofs, come back, sort the money out. what you've had though, you've had a lot of single mums raising young girls to the best of their ability. So what you're witnessing now in this generation is the majority of the lads are remaining unemployed, and the majority of the girls that have educated themselves have got the jobs, have got the driver's licenses, and what you'll see in most relationships, it's the woman that's more efficient.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what you're seeing these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lad's not driving. The lad hasn't got a license. The bird has.
Mm-hmm.
The lad hasn't got a 9 to 5. The bird has. The lad's not getting money coming in every month. This is where I'm from. I don't know what it's like up here. But years ago, it used to be the man's got the job. The man's got the money coming in. The man's driving the kids to school. The man's driving the woman home from the pub of a Friday night. Now it's the other way round. You've got women picking the men up from the pub of a Friday night and taking them home.
Oh, it used to be men would pick up the women out on the...
That's what it used to be like years ago. Gentleman stuff. You know, you'd open the door for the women.
We're losing
it's
that
gone.
a little bit. We're losing.
I think it's already gone. Yeah, like
it's gone amongst. It's gone
yeah,
amongst. There's some of us that have still got their morals intact.
Yeah,
and I think they're very rare.
In the young generation, it's even rarer as well.
Yeah.
But I think I still have that moral intact. I think I'm gonna take that throughout life. But I think that's, like you say, it's what your environment is. So if you know that, if that's what you're being taught, you'll get taught that. But if you were in a different environment, it could be different, and you might have a different
If you're
view on
raised
it,
in a house where your dad's opening the door for your mum when they're going out and closing it after it, and
then that's
treating her
what
like a queen,
that's what you do. Yeah.
You'll grow up treating women like a queen. But if you're in a house watching your dad give your mum black eyes, it's not going to be long before you're resorting to the same type of violence with your missus. Not everyone, because I witnessed my dad slaughter my ma, and I refuse to lay hands on a woman.
And I think I will teach you that, because you've seen that. You'd never want to act like that.
No, but with me brothers, every one of them, I've battered their birds.
That's horrible.
Okay.
And that's the way it works. You know, you can go with it, or you can go dead against it. And I went dead against it.
Yeah, there's no middle ground.
Yeah, there's no middle ground. No.
And
you're either on board or you're not.
Exactly. And that's one of those things that you have to be like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's also if you've had a very strong parental a very strong mother figure in your life. Like I've always had my dad as well, but obviously my dad worked a lot, so I spent a lot of my time with my mum, and obviously my mum being a very significant parental figure for me, obviously you do learn a lot of the things, like, you know, treat a woman with respect, and I'm sure that's the same with you. You've had a very strong maternal figure in your life, which is your mum. And again, both of us are of that thing. Like you've got to respect your partner. You've got to respect women in general. Because again, I could very easily, if I wanted to, I could very easily be a knobhead. I could very easily be a knobhead, but there's no need to, because what does that bring? What does that bring to me? Being a knobhead, like hitting a woman.
You've got a point there.
I find that disgusting.
You've got a point there if you were speaking about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. Because women 30 years ago were feminine. They were petite. They were balanced. They were pretty. You know, women these days, I don't even have to say football, do I? You know, you've got women these days that are built like the Rock. And what are you going to do, mate, if she starts punching you? Are you just going to stand there and let her punch the fuck out of you? Or are you going to defend yourself?
What do you do?
It's a woman, though.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
What would you do in that situation?
Punch your fucking head.
I mean, it's a fair playing ground.
If you don't,
you're done out.
Take the man and woman thing out the fucking equation, lad. If you've got someone like fucking, what's Paddy Pimblett's mate?
Meatball Molly.
So imagine you've got Molly Beatball fucking throwing a 5 combo punch at you, lad. What are you going to do?
I
mean,
you're not just going to take it because your jaw's snapped.
Yeah, but either way, even if you try fight back against Meatball, it's done out. It's game over.
Obviously, if you're in a relationship with a bird, if you've got a loving woman round you, if you've got a loving woman round you, and you're in the house with this woman and you're laying hands on this woman, you should be strung up and hung. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's persecution.
Yeah.
That's Like my ma, wow, I've seen my mum get naughty hidings, and I mean where she can't get off the floor. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you're doing that type of shit to a woman, you need unliving.
Yeah, no, you're a scumbag, realistically.
And that's, like I said, when you're growing up in that environment, you either follow what your dad was done or go right against it. All my brothers followed what he'd done. I went right against it. So every one of my brothers have laid their hands on their girls, and I've never laid my hands on my girls.
But if I can say that feel like that does describe you. Like you do tend to like make your own pathway and make your own mind up. Like you do tend to be like, you see the sheep and you do tend to be that wolf where that just goes in his own direction.
Well, you've got the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And then no one talks about the law of opposites. And it's the law of opposites that you need to be looking at, because everyone's attracted to shit right now. And what you're seeing is
even more now.
Yeah. And when you say when you hear these people speaking about the law of attraction, I don't see them attracting anything fucking good. You know, I just see it attracting a shit life, and it's all external. I don't see anything internal going on with you.
Yeah,
and that's what's important.
They're not building themselves; they're building something.
If you build in here, if you conquer in here, if you can deal with every emotion without becoming emotional, that's when you've smashed life. And that's when everything external will fall into place for you.
Oh, that brings, we've just run out of time, and that is genuinely the perfect end to say it. That genuinely is.
Well, that's what it is. If you speak about the chakras, if you think about your chakras as an emotion, each chakra is an emotion. Say the bottom one's anger. You'll remain peaceful when you should be angry. So seeing the situations that get you angry, you need to be able to deal with that without getting angry. And then once you've done that, you go up to the next chakra and say it's fucking,
you're building your way up.
Bang, you're conquering your emotions, and once you've conquered every emotion in your body, in your mind, you're in peace. And once your mind's in peace, everything outside falls into place. You're zen. You're zen. But you're never going to get it unless you conquer
inside
what's going on in here.
That's deep.
Internal wealth.
It is, and
internal wealth it
is.
It's all
listen up, all you listen up. That is genuinely, that is the anecdote for today.
And people do need to take that. You need to kind of into account.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's a lot of shit going on, and
well, it's all spiritual now. For years we've been living by the book. You know, for years we've been living by the Bible, the Quran, or whatever religion. It's all man-made. It's all written, man-made. What we've been living by. Now, what you're witnessing is the spiritual aspect of life starting to take over now.
It's becoming a lot more.
A lot more people are becoming
more woke.
Open.
Yeah.
We're encouraged to be pessimistic all our lives. It's okay to be optimistic, and once you become open-minded, your whole perception changes on life. Your perspective changes on everything. Once you're open-minded, if you've got that pessimistic, that tunnel vision, it's all right to have tunnel vision,
but in a good way.
But you know, if you've got a path and you've got an objective and you've got a career you want to achieve, it's good to have tunnel vision on that process. But this process here doesn't need tunnel vision. You need an open mind on this one. So when you hear about the processes of life, you haven't just got one process. Do you understand? It's not just one process. You've got your path of life, which is a process in itself. And then as you're walking down that, you're going to pop into loads of different other processes. Whether it's a relationship with a girl or loads of mad little things are going to kick in. And each one is a process. And you'll know you'll be on a process because you'll fuck up.
Yeah.
Every process you fuck up. And what happens with my process, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, so I'll finish on this. What happens is, when you're going through a process, you'll think to yourself, I've been here before. You'll automatically think to yourself, I've been here before. And you don't realise it.
Like deja vu?
It's similar. Okay. You don't realise it. But the more you go through so I'm on this process, and I fucked up there and fell off the process and had to start again. So I've started the same process again, but I know I fucked up here, So on this process, I'm able to go past that fuck up.
And rise above it.
Right.
Keep expanding and keep
So
growing.
what I'm saying is, I've started this process on this path. As I'm going down this path, this process, I fuck up, I make a mistake and fall off the process, off the path.
Square one.
I've got to start again. The first few times you do that, you don't remember that you've took this route. But the third or fourth time, you remember I've been down this route before and I fucked up here. So I'm going to dodge this. So now on this process, I've gone further and then fucked up.
And then.
So I start again, and now I've gone past the first fuck up, the second fuck up, and now I've fucked up again. A third time. I've got to start again. But I'm going through the process again, and I know where the obstacles are. 1, 2, 3. And I've overcome them obstacles now. So I'm further in the process. But I might fuck up for the fourth time down there and have to start again.
Yeah, gotta get back up.
But then I know where the adversity is going to pop up, where the obstacles are going to crop up.
That's life, that's life.
And that's what the process is. And as you're going through that, you'll continue to go through that process till you master it. And once you've mastered it, you'll come out the other side.
You should write a book, mate. Honestly, you should
Loads
write.
of people tell me, but
you definitely write a book.
You can only write a book when you've got a story to tell.
You do, and you've got wisdom.
you fully do.
But you need a story to tell.
Do you not think your life's been a big story? I think you've lived
but it's not completed.
more lives than most
so
people.
Look,
true.
If I write a book now,
there's more to it.
You're going to get 10 chapters at the end that aren't there. You know, you've got me rough part of my life. You've got me reforming my life. But then you haven't got me becoming successful in life.
True.
Yeah.
And then once I'm successful, then I can write a book.
Yeah.
Because then I've succeeded.
Yeah. It's like a full cycle. Full cycle. Yeah. Darren.
Well, yeah.
Honestly,
thank you very much.
Well, that was very eye-opening. I did
well,
not expect.
It was a nice interview, mate.
Yeah,
it was different than the rest.
Appreciate you coming on.
Good.
Mate.
Oh, that
Easily
was
distracted
great.
podcast.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. We'll see you next time. It's been.
And choose a life, not a knife, do you?
Choose a life,
Exactly.
not a knife.
No, please, Darren. Plug your socials. Tell whatever you.
Just choose a life, not a knife.
Yeah.
I'm on social medias, but I'm not here to plug or clickbait. You know, I'm here to promote the message of choose a life, not a knife.
That's the most important one. Thank you so much, Darren.
Pleasure, mate.
Perfect.
Cheers, guys. See you later.